that is guaranteed to never occur.
Which is?
Death.
Joy. Recording in progress.
Yes, I got it.
Hey, recording in progress.
Got it. You get it?
So why are people so much scared of death?
Because they don't know who they are.
Ah, try.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, if you ask the average person on the street who they are, they will say, "Oh, I am this body. I am from this
Yeah.
family."
But when they live, they don't act like they're going to die. Nobody does.
Yes, because I guess they do have some.
Because they're not going to die. I mean, do you ever think about a 10-year-old kid walking down the street saying, you know, I may be only 10 years old in this body, but I'm going to die. They can't even imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
Why would a 10-year-old kid say I'm going to die? That would be considered a psychological imbalance.
Right, psychological imbalance.
And then, of course, if they said, I may be 10 years old, but I know for a fact I'm never going to die, then they'd lock them up in an insane asylum.
What is death, Narayan? What is death?
Death
Yes.
is an illusion.
Death is an illusion.
Well, isn't it?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, when a
Think about him,
person dies and leaves, the soul leaves the body, are they dead?
The body's dead.
So what?
The mind is dead.
No, not the mind.
The spirit lives on.
The jiva is the self, part and parcel of Krishna, and the part and parcel of Krishna, this the spirit, always lives.
We leave the body and the mind here on earth.
Not the mind.
Not the mind. Why not?
Because you need it.
What is the mind?
The mind is one of the material elements.
The mind is what we've been taught and what we have experienced.
No, that's the memory.
It's been influenced.
No, okay, let me just give you a quick rundown. There's elements. Each element is more subtle than the previous one, okay? It starts with earth. And the body is made mostly of earth. Okay? But for the body to function, it must have the next element, which is fire. So you have earth body, that's inert. Fire, that means that there's chemical reactions going on in the body that generate heat. Earth, fire, then water. Water is what composes most of the body, right? So you have earth, fire, water. You have all the ingredients for a body right there. Now, how does the body sustain itself? Well, earth, fire, water, air. It has to breathe. It needs air. And then after air is mind. And after mind is intelligence. And after intelligence is the ego, meaning this, in Greek that means self. Your identity as a being in the material world is based on ego. I don't mean egotistical ego. I mean ego meaning, yeah, I looked in the mirror and I look okay today. Or I looked in the mirror and I'm terrified. I have a pimple on my nose, you know? That's ego determines. But the bigger sense of the word ego is the identity of the body that you're in. In other words, ego
which is
what makes you say, "This is me."
which is influenced by our experiences.
Which is what?
Which is influenced by our experience in life.
It's created by our experience.
Go
In
ahead.
other words, if you want to become a dog in your next life, do what dogs do in this life. Then your ego as a human being will become the ego as a dog. Now,
What are we doing in this lifetime? We're not being dogs. What are we being? We're trying to
Eating,
be the best
sleeping,
we can.
eating,
We're pretty
sleeping,
close. What? Eating? Go ahead.
eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That is what
We
all.
are animals only. Mahaprabhu, we are animals, right? We live like animals only, no?
We're also eating dog food, also most of the time.
Haribol. That's right.
We just are missing that body, that bodily experience. But
Eating, meeting, and sleeping. That's the
Well,
motivation for us, right? Right, Mahaprabhu?
barbarians raise cattle and sheep and whatnot, pigs, and kill them and eat them. Smart people kill humans to eat them. It saves the cycle.
smart people kill humans and eat them.
Well, it does less harm to the environment, doesn't it?
Right, right. So Mahaprabhu, how's this making sense to you? This, how the body and the human body, the dog body, the cat body, they're all
Anybody.
any bodies, yes. Even
Earth, look at it. Earth, water, fire. How many bodies don't have earth, water, and fire, regardless of species? They're not just humans, right? Earth, water, fire, air. I mean, I've got fruit flies. They fly around in the air. Earth, fire, air, ether. Now, ether gets interesting because that's what people call the astral plane, or it's the introduction to the astral plane. So rather than having a physical relationship to your mind, you have an etheric relationship to your mind. And that's what psychics do. They access the mind via ether rather than just trying to impose their bodily impressions onto the mind.
so the yogis can do that too, right?
Oh, they're good at it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Ether, mind, then intelligence. Intelligence in the material world is a whole layer. Each layer is bigger than the last. 10 times bigger than the last. So if you have earth, and then you have water, 10 times more water than earth. And then you have fire, earth, fire, 10 times more than the earth and the
That's all naturalistic.
well, it's all material. If you want to talk about natural, if you're a naturalist.
The way I see it is that we have a body that is not worth very much because it gets old and decrepit. We have a mind that's been influenced by all the things that we have learned and we have experienced. And the body and the mind really don't mean that much. The only thing that really
the
means
body can
is the
function
spirit.
without the mind.
The spirit, the jiva is everything. We need to
The
live
jiva doesn't
through
even come into the picture. Remember, earth, fire, water, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. The spirit isn't even included in any of those, is it?
We need to live through the platform of the jiva, because the body and the mind don't mean
No,
shit.
we don't live through it. We are it. Are you,
Say it
are you a
again.
jiva or are you living through a jiva?
I'm a jiva.
Yeah.
Spirit soul.
If you're living through a jiva, then I have to ask you then, if you're living through a jiva, then who are you?
Then who's living? Right.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
I'm living through the jiva. I am the jiva. I am the soul.
Yes. So the thing to really get square is Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. I am spirit soul.
The body and the mind is just fucking us up.
No,
Excuse my
no, no.
French.
No.
The
It's
body and the mind is what we got by desiring to leave Krishna Loka and experience being in charge of things ourselves instead of Krishna being in charge of things.
the body and mind can be utilized in Krishna service. In this way, the body and mind are utilized properly for the right.
Yes, and guess what that is called? We talk about it all the time. Kanistha Adhikari.
Hmm.
When the body and the mind are being engaged in Krishna's service, that means we've come up to the platform of Kanistha Adhikari. We know that we're spiritual. The devotee, the Kanistha Adhikari, is good number, knows that he is spirit soul, but he acts and thinks and feels as though he's his body. But while acting and thinking and feeling as though he's his body, he's reading Prabhupada's books, he's chanting Hare Krishna, worshiping the deity, taking prasadam, and his material experience becomes more and more rarefied by these practices. That's called sadhana bhakti, or the gradual process of spiritual advancement. Unfortunately, right now, the ISKCON temples have got themselves stuck thinking that Kanistha Adhikari is the liberated state. Because
And it's not.
the initiators are not Uttama Adhikaris, they're not from Krishna Loka. They're just advanced, more advanced, or presumably more advanced members of the Kanistha Adhikari people, the platform.
I mean, I wouldn't call them advanced.
Kanistha Adhikari doesn't require, in this Golden Age of Kali, the Kanistha Adhikari doesn't require a guru. He requires the Mahamantra.
Hmm.
Are we Kanistha Adhikari right now?
Yeah, of course. When you look in the mirror, do you think that's you?
I'm not
Usually,
sure.
right?
I'm not sure.
I mean, do you think it's somebody else?
I don't know who it is.
Okay, well, that's a step in the right direction, isn't it? But the
Mahaprabhu.
one thing you can be assured of is it's not you.
Say it again.
This one thing you can be assured of is that what you see in the mirror is not you.
Hare Krishna. Thank God.
Even though somebody walks into the room where the mirror is that you're staring at and says, "Oh, Mahaprabhu, how are you?" Wouldn't you be tempted to say, "Fine, but I have a pain in my left arm"?
So, Mahaprabhu,
Wouldn't
I
that
have
be
a question for you.
Yes,
Hey.
sir. Yes, Das.
Interesting question.
So,
Must be an interesting question.
Oh, yeah.
so you
Ask away.
okay? So you wear seeing glasses or vision, right? You have some vision problem. So when you look through the glass, who's seeing?
Say it again.
You wear glasses, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
But you only wear glasses in black and white.
No. Let's get back to my question. Let's not open a can of worms right now.
Okay.
Okay.
What's
I
the
wear
worm?
glasses.
What's the worm stuck in the can? Go ahead.
So Mahaprabhu,
Good
you
question. So
yes. So Mahaprabhu, you wear glasses, right?
That's correct.
Without glasses, can you see?
Yes.
How much do you see?
About 50%.
Okay. So with the glasses, you see 100%, right?
That's correct.
So when you don't have your glasses, do you identify with the glasses?
Oh, that's a good question. If I don't have my glasses, I can't identify with my glasses
Why not?
because I don't have my glasses on.
Because you're not the glasses.
Aha. I am not the glasses.
Yes. So when you leave this body, the soul leaves the body. Do you identify with it?
No,
So who are you?
I'm free.
Spirit
No,
soul.
no, I'm
free
saying,
I'm free from glasses.
yes, you're free from the body.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Not the soul.
The soul leaves the body, right?
Yes.
So who are you really?
The
Spirit
soul.
soul.
Okay. If you
I
are
am
the soul, so where are you going to get that knowledge from? More knowledge about the soul.
From the soul itself.
Well, you didn't know that a while back. So how did you get it? Did you? Hmm?
From this Zoom call, I get everything. I learned. I know the truth from you guys.
Now, since this is the Supreme Personality of Zoom,
That's right.
now this is a very profound question that Ramachandra is asking. It deserves to get your best intellect involved in the details of it.
Yeah. So when you're using your glasses, you don't identify with the glasses, do you?
If I use my glasses, I guess I am identifying with my glasses.
I'm saying when you use your glasses, you don't think the glasses is you, do you?
No, the glasses are not me.
Okay. So similarly, the glasses is not you. So a dead body missing the consciousness is the symptom of the soul. So the soul is no longer there. That's why you can do anything with the body. Burn it, cut it, bury it, whatever you like.
Eat it.
Eat
That's
it.
correct.
So what's missing from it? From the dead
soul.
body.
The soul.
And what's the symptom of the soul?
I'm not. I don't know how to answer that.
What is the symptom of the soul? We just answered that question.
The symptom of the soul is, I'm not sure. What is the symptom of the soul?
Mahaprabhu is conscious living entity. That is you.
Uh-huh.
So when the soul leaves the body, the consciousness also leaves the body, right? Can you have a conversation with the body?
No.
So what's missing?
The soul.
And the symptom of the soul is?
The soul.
Consciousness.
Consciousness. Krishna consciousness.
No, just ordinary consciousness.
Yes. Ordinary. So now you're seeing the difference. The symptom of the soul is consciousness. So every living entity is conscious. Your dog there, if you kick the dog, what happens?
I don't want to know about it.
It will scream.
Right. How about you kick the dog when it's dead, when the consciousness and the soul have separated? What happens? Does it protest?
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens, right? So
That's
what
right.
has left? The soul has left along with the consciousness.
Okay.
So now you see.
So what's left?
So what's left, Mahaprabhu?
The soul.
No, what's left?
What's left? I don't know. What's left? The soul.
Yes.
No, the soul has left. What remains behind after the soul has left?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah, once the soul leaves, man, nothing's there.
The body's there.
Your body's gone. The mind is gone. Only the
What?
soul remains.
No. Let's go back.
To Krishna.
Mahaprabhu, let's go back.
The dog in your living room, not some sort of astral dog.
Okay, let's use that dog in your living room. Your dog just dies. He's no longer conscious. The soul has left the body. What's left? What do you see with your eyes?
The body.
Okay, that's what's there. The body.
Right. The physical.
Yes.
Right.
So what's the difference between a living body and a dead body?
I would say nothing.
Living meanings we can have a communication, right? Can you have communication with me if I was dead?
No.
So what's the difference between a living body and a dead body?
The living body can have communication.
Okay. So the communication is the symptom of the
Jiva,
soul, yes.
the soul, yes.
And the symptom of the soul is consciousness, communication, and all living entities do that. All spirit souls do that.
Jai.
For a simple reason, they are equal to Krishna in everything they can do, more or less, but they are tinier than Krishna because they're infinitesimal and Krishna is infinite. So we're part of Krishna's conscious existence as individual parts.
So Mahaprabhu, things are making sense, or we're confusing you more and more?
I think it's a big confusion for me.
Well, if you ever wanted to eat your dog, do it after the soul is gone.
I would never eat my dog.
That's the joke, Mahaprabhu.
Oh, wow.
So Mahaprabhu, you're seeing the difference between a dead body and a conscious living soul and body, meaning that functioning body with consciousness, feelings, emotions.
Hare
Which is
Krishna.
Haribol.
Hari
Jai.
Bol, Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
that?
that's Rupa.
Welcome.
Rupa Manjari.
I just wanted to say hi. I'm on vacation right now. That's why I didn't join on. But Mohit told me you guys wanted to see me, so I just wanted to say hi real fast.
Okay, Haribol.
Great.
Haribol.
Are you having a good
Get
time?
off
Are you
of
having a good
vacation.
time?
Yes, I'm having a very nice time.
Wonderful.
Hare
Okay.
Okay, let's
so
continue our conversation here. Mahaprabhu,
Bye-bye, Rupa.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Jai.
Krishna.
Jai.
Mahaprabhu, this Istagosthi, you gotta get all your questions answered before the next body comes, Mahaprabhu.
Let's do it.
So I mean, it seems like we've been talking about the soul, consciousness, the symptom of the soul, and you seem like these things are still confusing you. So we have to get you up to speed somehow or other. So now you ask the questions. Why can't you not understand the difference between a living body, meaning me, versus a dead person? Why can't you understand that part?
Well, the living body is in process. We are trying to attain Krishna consciousness. The dead body has already moved on to something else.
Garbage file.
I feel that we are all in process. We are in
But
process
we are not
of
the
Krishna.
body. The
Say it
body
again.
is nothing more or less than earth, fire, water, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego.
Yeah, the body is nothing.
No,
It gets
the
old,
body
it gets
is
ugly,
the body
it gets
is
old, it
the
gets
body
ugly.
is substantial. It's made of earth, which is not nothing, water, which is not nothing, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. Go all the way up to mind, which travels through the soul into the next body. How can you say nothing? It's no more nothing. It's no less nothing than a log or a rock or any other object made of matter.
The body is just a vessel.
Not a vessel.
It's nothing. It gets old, it gets ugly, it dies.
That getting old is not worth considering, because getting old implies that there is some meaning to not getting old. The point is that the body goes through processes, but never ceases to be earth, fire, water, air, ether, air. Those elements, the body remains to be conscious, and there's no consciousness in the body, ever. The body is never conscious. Go ahead, Ramachandra.
Yes, the body is never conscious. So what is an example of that? I'm asking the devotees here.
The body is just a physical being.
A physical what?
It's a physical being, the body.
How do you spell that? Physical.
It's a material form.
Just say it's a material thing.
It's a piece of matter.
Yeah. Combination of different elements of matter.
That's right. The body is matter.
If you get into it, you're going to find sulfur and iron and phosphorus and lead and all
You're gonna find everything.
Yeah, but that does not make a body. It just happens to be in the body. The body is composed of things that are not the body.
Mahaprabhu, who's manipulating the body? How is it being manipulated? How are you acting through the body? Who's controlling it?
The mind. The mind tries to control the body.
Well, what if you take the mind out of the body and the mind goes and with a red-faced and embarrassed comes to the soul and says, "Excuse me, I belong with you, not with that lump of pus, blood, stool, and urine down there."
Yeah, we need the soul to interfere. The mind and the body and the mind are nothing.
No, the mind belongs with the soul. The body can operate quite well without the interference of the mind. The mind makes you think that the body is you. But in reality, if the mind didn't think that the body was you, it would be still functioning. It would still be eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. It just would be doing it without identification as being the self. In other words, the mind, the body is a material construct. If you go into a lab and you mix a bunch of chemicals together, that's like creating a body. If you put all the elements of a body into a lab, you could end up with something that would be chemically and materially equal to a body. But because the soul hasn't entered that mixture in the test tube, therefore it's not alive.
The body and the mind are fallible. The jiva, the spirit, is infallible.
True, but the mind doesn't need to be fallible. The mind is fallible only when it makes the outrageous, egregious attempt to identify with matter.
The body and the mind are always fallible. It's the soul that is infallible. And we need to operate from the platform of the soul.
Yeah,
the body and the mind are always fallible. They're always making mistakes.
But
the
if you're
jiva
in a
never makes a
body,
mistake.
if you're in a body, you have to withdraw the mind. It says right in the Gita, withdraw your senses from the objects of the senses. It says right there in the early part of the Gita. Withdraw your senses from the objects of the senses. When you do that, then you no longer identify with the body. The big question, I think, that's a hard one to deal with is if the mind leaves the body, no longer identifies, this is my nose, this is my fingers, this is my clothing, this is my complexion, this is my this and that. If the mind withdraws from the body, and yet it hasn't left the body like dying with the soul and the mind are in the heart of every living entity. So infinitesimal and very small. So if they're in the heart of every living entity, then at what point, what happens to the body if the mind no longer looks out after it at all? Zero. If the mind is totally detached, the soul and the mind are together and totally detached from the body. What does the body do?
The bodily necessities gets minimized, and then many of the functions are automatically carried out
By the body.
by the body. Yes.
But what makes them carried out? I mean, if you put two chemicals together, you can get, in a test tube, you can get some big fizz or maybe flames shooting out or something like that, right? Because of the chemical combination. So what makes the body functionable if the mind doesn't identify with it at all?
Well, how the body is maintained? Is that what you're saying?
Well, the body is maintained by the presence of the soul. But that doesn't mean that the soul is the body.
No,
It just
no.
means that,
You're
Yeah.
saying that the soul and the mind are together now.
yeah, they
Right.
are supposed to be together
Yes,
in
there's
the heart of the living being.
yes. And now how the body is functioning without the soul and the mind identifying with the body.
The soul doesn't need to get involved.
No, no. Yes, I
But
understand
the
that part.
mind, without the soul, the mind would not be there. And without the mind, it would not be possible to identify with the body. But supposing the mind withdraws, withdraw your senses from the object of the senses, says Krishna.
Hmm.
Take back withdraw them. Then how does the body exist without the mind tripping all over itself, identifying with the body in every species? The dog thinks it's a dog.
That's a very good question. How is the body being maintained when the soul and the mind, they both get together, meaning they
Exactly. May I ask another leading question?
sure. Let's do that.
What gives the body its shape, nature, form, race, and all of those things?
Karma.
And how is karma delivered?
Karma is delivered to the body
By what agency?
by the devotee and devotees.
But put more simply, by the planets.
Yes, by the
The
planets. Yes.
devotees are the planets.
Yes.
Like Mars, if you say that was done because you have Mars major, it's not because the deva is sitting there choosing. You got stuck there with Mars because of your past karma. Okay, so the absolute answer is that when the mind gets out of the body, or doesn't get out of it, but was withdrawn, beaten as it is with 100 times with shoes, 100 times with sticks, the body continues on under the laws of material nature.
Yes.
Because that's what's created, right? The body is created by the laws of material nature. What do we say? Oh, that's your astrological chart. Yeah, that's the laws of material nature. You were born with all these planets influencing your bodily development at the time of conception.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept on going until you were born, and then you had your chart done, your astrological chart done to say, oh, you're going to be a king. Oh, you're going to be a beggar, something like that, you know? You can figure it out. Why? Because the elements. So what happens is, to bring it down to basics, if the mind is no longer identifying with the body will continue very nicely under the strict laws of the laws of material nature.
Karma.
Goodness, passion, and ignorance.
Yes, the three modes of material nature. Yes.
So wherever the planets are bestowing you goodness, you will experience it. Wherever they're just bestowing you ignorance, you'll experience it. And whoever with passion. So if you're supposed to be a king, you can be a king even if the mind is not involved. More basically, your body will continue to function because once the mind is no longer involved, the ambition to be a king is no longer really there. But the function of the body, the cells in your body, go entirely by the elements. Goodness, passion, and goodness is golden, is yellow, passion is red, ignorance is dark blue. So that's what controls you anyhow, no matter what the mind thinks it's up to. Well, anyhow, I've spoken as much or more, so go ahead, continue. I'm fascinated by the way you're handling this, so I want to be fascinated some more.
So this entire discussion we're having is to for Mahaprabhu and people who are watching online to see the distinction between the soul, the symptom of the soul, consciousness, which is the symptom of the soul, and Narayan Prabhu talked about the material elements: earth, fire, water, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, or who you are, and how we can see these things functioning, and how we're so heavily identified with it. Right? Mahaprabhu? Is Mahaprabhu still there, or Mahaprabhu has cut out?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
You're afraid your dog ate you.
I think the body and the mind make many mistakes, but the
The body
jiva,
doesn't make it. Why do
the
you say that?
soul, makes no mistakes
Why do you say the body makes mistakes?
because it's infallible.
No, a body makes mistakes. Dead body, can it make a mistake or not?
If it's dead, it can't do anything.
So why it cannot do anything? So who's making the mistake? You're saying the body is making the mistake. So who's making the mistake?
The mind, the mind and the body make mistakes, but the soul makes no mistakes.
The body doesn't make any mistakes. The body is just a test tube full of chemicals.
So the mind is making mistakes.
If it identifies with the body.
Yes.
The jiva makes no mistakes.
Well, the jiva makes mistakes if it allows the mind to identify with the body. That's a big mistake.
So if you're Mahaprabhu, if you're thinking that you're this body, then the whole thing is a bad deal, right? Narayan Prabhu, if anyone here is thinking they're this body, then
they're making a mistake.
Absolutely, the body is a bad deal. The mind is a bad deal.
The body is just matter. It's not good or bad.
It's just that's right.
Look,
it's just matter.
I mean, are you going to walk up into a garden and say, "I see those soil, I see those rocks, I see the bricks. That's bad. That's a bad deal." No, they're just bricks. They're just soil. That's all they are. Elements, material elements.
So the body,
under the influence of the planets.
Yes, the body is material elements combined together. Do you understand, Mahaprabhu?
Yes,
Yeah.
the body is material elements combined together. It's physical.
Exactly. Just
It's,
like if you take
material.
flour and water and milk and
Right.
leavening and stir it together and add
It's
some
matter.
sugar and you pour it into a pan, it turns into a pancake.
It's matter.
But you can't make a pancake unless you use the right ingredients.
That's right.
So now things are making sense. So who's making the mistake here? If the living entities, consciousness is so engulfed in the body and other bodies, they're thinking that they're these bodies. Who's making the mistake? The living soul, which is spiritual, he's thinking it's this body. So whose mistake is it? Is it the body's mistake or the person who is temporarily residing in the body?
It's the mind that's making
No,
the mistake.
Mahaprabhu.
It's the mind. The mind
The
is
mind
the
is
mind is
not
mistaken.
independent. The mind by its very nature is very dependent. It wants to depend on the body because the soul doesn't prohibit it, stop it from identifying with the body. And the
Hmm.
mind will identify with the soul if the soul beats it with a stick 100 times in the morning, the shoe is 100 times in the morning and the stick 100 times at night. But the mind is not independent.
The body cannot think. Only the mind can think.
Does the body need to think?
The body can't think. It's the mind that thinks for the body.
But wait a minute. If the body is functioning like it wants to eat something, why is the mind a factor in that?
The body can't do anything without the mind.
Sure it can.
The body cannot act on its own. It needs the
It
mind.
does
to
act on its own.
The body can't act on
Are
its
you
own.
saying that if you pour two chemicals into a test tube in a laboratory, that these two chemicals cannot act on their own?
Yeah, but we're talking about the body that is just matter. It doesn't think.
Well,
The body does not
it
think.
doesn't have to think.
It's the mind that thinks for the body.
Do you think it takes a lot of thought to eat?
Well, it takes no thought to eat.
Bingo. So it doesn't involve the mind. It involves what the body requires in terms of fat, chemicals, salt, and whatnot, you know.
I
Right?
think it's the mind that makes the body eat.
No, it's
The
the
body
body.
can't. The body
the
can't eat by
mind-
itself.
The mind says you should eat this fancy dish that has the same ingredients as this ordinary dish. The mind can give you delusions of grandeur, but the body, I mean, what's the difference in nutritiously between the body eating a filet mignon and eating stool? What's the nutritional difference?
Quite different.
What
Quite different.
is it? So go and analyze the stool for proteins and fats and nutrients and examine the filet mignon for fats and fibers and nutrients. Will you really find them to be that far apart?
It's the mind that makes the body eat.
No, it's the body that makes the needs of the body call on the mind to give it a leg up or an advantage in how to eat. But as far as eating, the body will just eat what the body eats.
And the mind can make the body eat whatever it wants to.
The mind can guide the body to eat certain things, but the body doesn't necessarily require those things. Supposing the body is the body of someone like a king, and the mind keeps wanting more, or princess, and the mind wants more and more cakes and more sweets and more ice creams and more popcorn and stuff like that, and feeds the body, that may actually end up killing the princess because there's no balance of nutrients. But if the princess ate a big bowl of stool, she'd probably come out way ahead in terms of nutrients.
Mahaprabhu,
Yes, sir.
is things making sense or we're just going in circles with you here?
Everything is making sense.
Okay.
Ramachandra Singh does.
Good. So who are you? Who are you?
I am the soul.
Yes. And what is the symptom of the soul?
Love and respect.
No, no, no. Consciousness.
Consciousness.
A dead body, is it conscious?
No,
Why? Why not?
because there's no soul in it.
And the symptom of the soul is what?
The symptom of the soul? I'm not sure. What's the symptom of the soul?
You just said it 2 seconds ago.
Tell me again. What's the symptom of the soul? What does that mean?
Is
What does that mean? The symptom of the soul.
okay.
The soul has a symptom?
Oh, of course. That's
What
not
is the
soul.
symptom?
God has many qualities, wouldn't you say?
Of course.
We are part and parcel of God, and we have a lot of qualities because He does. They're same
Right.
qualities, just in a minute form. Go
So
ahead,
what's the symptom of the soul? What does that mean? The symptom of the soul. The soul
Okay.
has a symptom.
What is the distinguishing feature of the soul?
It is the source.
Of?
It's the source of Krishna.
Source of Krishna. Source of Krishna.
Good one.
The
This was
source
good.
of Krishna.
Part and
Is that
parcel.
you have
Is that
the
funny?
soul as the origin of Krishna? I mean,
Hmm.
the mind is the origin of Krishna. I think we're getting off track.
Mahaprabhu, the symptom of the soul is consciousness. Is a dog conscious? If your dog was to die right there, would it be conscious? Would the dead body be conscious?
I say no,
Why not?
because it's dead.
And what makes you think it's dead?
The physical form is dead.
No.
The mind is dead.
No.
But the
No. Forget the mind.
The spirit continues.
No. Forget the spirit. What is missing from the dog's dead body?
Consciousness.
Okay. And
Bingo! The demigods are sprinkling
Hare Krishna.
flowers on Mahaprabhu.
right,
Hare
Mahaprabhu,
Krishna.
you're getting it. You're getting it. Consciousness. And this,
Amen. Amen.
so when the soul leaves the dead body, consciousness leaves also.
Where does it go?
No. Forget where does it go. Try to understand this part. What's missing from a dead body?
Consciousness.
And the consciousness is the symptom of that.
Say it again.
Consciousness is the symptom of what?
Is the symptom of the soul.
Okay, right. So can you repeat it?
Bingo.
Consciousness is the symptom of the soul.
Okay, now you explain it to me now.
So if you're dead, the consciousness is the symptom of the soul.
Yes, because the soul is no longer present, the consciousness is also no longer present. You understand?
In the dead body.
In the dead body.
Where does it go?
Okay, so you understand that part first.
Yes.
So what's
The
missing?
dead body is just a dead body. There's no consciousness. There's nothing.
No. The material elements are there, but the
Earth,
distinct,
fire, water, air.
If
Earth,
some- if
water,
somebody
fire,
gets-
air, and heat.
If somebody gets cremated, it's over.
no. Let's forget cremation. We're trying to make a distinction here. That-
Can I add, cremation is simply a readjustment of the material elements of the body.
Yes.
You turn it
Okay.
from flesh that will rot and stink into carbon that doesn't.
So, Mahaprabhu, when there is a dead body, it doesn't matter species, the soul has left the body. That's why it's no longer conscious, meaning that you can do anything to the body, it will not protest. But when the soul is still in the body and it's conscious, meaning, it moves around and responds, that means that the body is what? not dead. You get it? Meaning that the soul and consciousness is still active in that body.
Okay. Even if it's dead.
No, dead means no more consciousness. The soul has left.
And the
And
mind.
where did it go?
No. Do you understand this first part or not? We don't want to talk about where does it go right now. We want you to understand this first basic point of
When
the
you're dead, the consciousness has gone.
Yes.
Not when you're dead, when your body is dead.
When your body is dead. When your body is dead, your consciousness is no longer there.
Yes. Why? Because the soul has left. You understand?
The soul has left the body.
And the symptom of the soul is consciousness, meaning that we're having a conversation. Would you be able to have a conversation with this dead body if it was no longer soul and consciousness together?
No,
Why not?
because we need all three.
Not necessarily.
We need the body, the mind, and the soul to be communicating. We can't communicate if we have no mind, no body, and no soul. Is that correct?
See,
We need the mind, the body, and the soul to all work together for us to
you
communicate.
don't necessarily need the body. There's people who can talk to ghosts, and ghosts are simply mind and soul that are in an unresolved state without a body, without a physical body.
Yeah, but you can't communicate without the body. You need the mouth.
Sure you
You need the
can.
tongue.
You do it in your
You need the
dreams.
pharynx. You need the eustachian tube. You need all that stuff to communicate.
Do you
Do you?
remember?
You can't communicate without a mouth, without
Of course
vocal
you can.
cords.
What do you
How
think
can you
psychics
communicate
do?
without vocal cords?
With the mind.
The mind will control the
No,
body
the mind will communicate.
through the body.
No, without the body.
The mind can't do anything without the body
How do you know?
because it's just the mind. The mind is
That's just the
ethereal.
mind. The mind is far more advanced up the scale than the body. Remember, earth,
the
water,
mind-
fire, air, ether, mind.
The mind and the spirit, they need a physical being to act.
No. Mahaprabhu, do you have dreams? In that
Yes.
dream, are you active? Meaning, is your body functioning? Do you
Yes.
remember? Is your vocal cord still going when you're dreaming?
Yes.
No. When you're dreaming, you're having an experience in a what? In a different place, different time. How are you having that experience? When you're not,
Dimension.
huh?
Different dimension.
Yeah, different dimension. You're having a totally different material experience. You're totally forgetful of that present body that you're in.
When you're sleeping.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're dreaming that you're walking up Mount Everest and somebody walks into the room, do they see you climbing
Oh,
or do they see you sleeping?
Try.
Thank you.
I made it now.
Thank you.
Try.
Hare Krishna, Daddy.
Hare Krishna, Daddy, 95 years old. Say hello.
Hare Krishna.
Hey,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
That's my father.
Wonderful. He must be very proud of you.
I don't know about that.
He said Hare Krishna. Did you hear that?
Let's see
Hari
if I can
Bol,
get
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, uncle. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You
See if
talk
I
to your
can.
father, you can call him Pita. Pita means father in Sanskrit.
Pitamaha.
Hare
His-
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Oh, you look fantastic,
Krishna,
sir.
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna.
Rama, Rama.
Right.
Hare.
Rama.
That's wonderful.
Hare Krishna. Come sit this here.
Hey, that's my dad.
You look so intelligent.
You look
He only
Look
looks
so-
50. He only looks 50.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah. He only looks 40, not 50, bro.
95.
You look so young, man.
You look young.
That's
they say.
wonderful.
Thank you. God
Well-
bless him.
Amen. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare
We
Krishna.
have your
Okay.
son,
Baby,
your son Marco Mahaprabhu, your son is come so that you and he will become completely bonded with God in the next few years.
that's him, young guy.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Young
Right.
people.
Young
Yeah,
people.
young
he said.
people.
Young people.
Young
You're
people,
also
God
young.
bless you. all.
You're also
God
young.
bless you all, he says.
When you're talking, sir, when you talk about the soul is eternally young. The soul never gets old.
Bye-bye.
The
Bye,
body can get old, but the soul cannot get old.
Very good.
Grazie, Pops.
What you
wonderful.
gonna do? You got it.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
He said Hare Krishna so many times in
Buonissimo.
this in this Zoom meeting.
One more.
Hare Krishna.
Il cane sta con te o sta dentro?
No, dentro.
Sta dentro.
That's
Dentro.
amazing. Your father is an astonishing
Sta
person.
dentro con te.
Yes, he is.
He's very spiritually advanced.
Sta dentro con te.
Dentro.
That's why he may not have been entirely happy his whole life, because he was always searching for the happiness that only comes from becoming self-realized soul, not becoming a good guy in this job or that job or this place or that place, this wife or that wife or this son and that daughter or whatever.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, he's looking
Right.
for the real McCoy. So you're going to have to end up treating him like your guru within a very short time.
So Mahaprabhu, is the discussion making more sense now? Yeah, we've been having this discussion for a year now, so we're trying to bring you up to speed, light speed.
I'm trying to follow as best I can.
Well, you're following pretty good.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Hari Bol.
So what is the symptom of the soul, Mahaprabhu?
The symptom of the soul is consciousness.
Yes.
To be
And-
what does that mean? What does that mean to be consciousness?
Well, are you conscious right now?
We are transcendent and not transformative.
No. Answer the question. Answer. Don't make it complicated. First, answer the question, then we'll go from there.
What's the question?
No, Narayan Prabhu asked you a question.
And what was the question, Narayan?
What was that question, Ramachandra?
Consciousness. We were talking about consciousness. Are you conscious right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so what is consciousness?
Consciousness is following.
No, simple. It's a one-word answer. Think.
Consciousness is soul,
No, awareness.
awareness.
Okay.
Consciousness is awareness.
Awareness of what?
Awareness of consciousness of Srila Prabhupada.
Okay, you're conscious of Srila Prabhupada. Okay, that's a good start. So, the soul, the consciousness, and the symptom of consciousness is awareness. So, what are you aware of right now?
I'm aware of consciousness,
Okay. So,
Being conscious.
yes,
being conscious,
yes.
being transcendental and not transformative.
You're having a conversation, right, with three people, me, you, and yourself, right?
Right.
And
you're
we're having a discussion on,
And Mohit.
Mohit is no longer here, so that's why I said.
No?
Yeah.
He's gone?
Yeah, he just left. So
Oh, no.
Just
So-
the three of us.
yeah, just the three of us. So we're three people here. We'd be having a discussion about what subject matter. Pick one.
Consciousness.
Okay, consciousness.
What
Which
does
is
that mean? What does
So-
that mean to be conscious?
what does it mean to be conscious? That's a very good. What are you focused on right now?
I'm focused on spirituality.
Okay, there you go.
Srila Prabhupada,
Yes, Srila Prabhupada's teachings or
Krishna.
Krishna's teachings. Yes.
That's what my focus is right now.
So that is called Krishna consciousness.
Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
So you're understanding what is Krishna consciousness now? First
Yes.
of all, you understand that you're a spiritual soul, right? And the symptom of the soul is consciousness. And you're aware that you are a spirit soul. And Krishna consciousness is what? To know and be aware of who? Krishna.
Krishna.
And your relationship with
Krishna.
Krishna, and as well as all the living entities, they're conscious living entities, they're also part of Krishna's what? Family. Krishna's part and parcel of Krishna's creation, just like you and I are. So that is Krishna.
Actually, manifestation.
Manifestation,
He
yes.
doesn't create, he doesn't create the
Yes,
soul, he
yes,
is
sorry,
the
yes.
soul.
Yes.
Yeah.
He doesn't create the
Easy.
soul.
So we are all one family.
Yes. Krishna's part and parcels. Yes.
But not in the material sense,
Yes.
only in the causal sense.
In the what
Conscious.
sense?
Causal. Cause, C-A-U-S.
Can you
Causal. Yeah.
elaborate, Narayan Prabhu? Can give an example. Causal. How does it apply?
The causal
The
sense.
consciousness of our body and the mind that it's somehow got entangled with the body is because our consciousness is non-different than Krishna's consciousness. Only difference is amount. Krishna's infinite, and we, as we say, always, are infinitesimal. Right?
You're saying right now that the symptom. Can you repeat that point again? Because I think there's you mentioned something that I thought was a little off. So I'd like to hear that again
From who?
from you. You were saying that consciousness identifying. We are identifying with the body. So if we identify with the body, that means we're not Krishna conscious.
Correct.
So that's what I was gonna.
Yeah, definitely. But the ability that we have to be conscious is is non-different than Krishna.
The ability.
So the jiva is non-different than Krishna. The difference is size. Krishna is infinite, the soul is infinitesimal. But same substance is pure spiritual consciousness.
But
Reality. In other words, reality. When we're in the material world, we're not in the realm of reality because it's relative. And you take a body and then it dies on you when you least expect it, perhaps.
But the body and the mind are screwing everything up.
no. The body, you have not understood who you are, so you can make a distinction. So that's why you're confused. So
And besides which, the body's not doing anything to you. You're doing things to the body. You chose to be this body. How did you choose to be the body that you're in? It was how you were conceived between the seed of your father and the egg of your mother. You ended up the person body, the body that you have always thought of as yourself. But you're not it's not who you are. Can you think of how many persons at the moment you were conceived all over the world, billions of people all over the world. You could have been conceived by any one of those couples that were blending seed and receiving in the egg. Humans. All those humans, you could have been any one of them, but you happened to turn out to be conceived by your father and mother.
That specific persons, two people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So that is because of your karma,
Previous karma, yes.
previous life's karma, and you go into the womb to come out as Mark Yakan. However, you can see that you're very fortunate because right here, your father cried out Hare Krishna many times over with full heart and mind. So this is a secret benediction. This is, you're wondering what your father is bequeathing you, is an inheritance. He's bequeathing you beautifully enunciated Hare Krishna mantra.
Try.
Not very many people chant as nicely as he does.
Yeah, he chanted it, like he's a pure devotee.
Yeah. With great sincerity from his heart.
And the dog is barking, he's confirming it.
There you go.
That's next door. Next door.
Next door dog is confirming it.
That's right.
Not even that door, that dog that lives there. The next door dog is confirming it.
Mahaprabhu's transcendental powers.
Is this Mohit?
Yes,
Mohit is
Haribol.
back. Yes.
Mohit is back. How wonderful. Good. I think we probably have covered this for the moment, no? How much
Yeah.
further can we go?
That's it.
Right.
Mahaprabhu has understood it.
Why not read something from that paper? Because I'm interested to know what Mohit will think about it.
Okay, yes, let me load that up 1 second.
Pro, I have one question. Nana, Pro.
Yes.
Hello. Pro, how about we were talking about. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
How about siddhis, various siddhis which we get, Haribol? What are your take on that, Pro?
Speak, Mahaprabhu. Speak. Mohit Prabhu, speak. We can hear you. Don't stop in the middle.
Various siddhis which we get, right? What has Prabhupada said about them? Various siddhis and praptis which you can acquire in a life, right? Can you just elaborate on that, Haribol?
So Mohit Prabhu is asking about the various siddhis and powers that you get. So what does Prabhupada have to say about those?
Well, look at the cities that you already have. You can walk with legs.
Yeah.
Tell that to a snail, they'll die of envy. A snail can't walk on legs, but you can.
Yeah.
That's a city. That's a city. The cities
Okay.
come from the planets, and they're produced from your previous life's karma. Are you back on the call? Because I don't see your name, and I don't see you personally. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Bro. I'll just on my camera. I was somewhere. So yeah, just on my camera in 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So did your phone die?
Yeah. Yeah, it's died very badly. So just charging rapidly.
Okay, got it. Okay, so cities are all things which it's like, what if you're born rich and you're given gold ornaments when you're a baby? Well, those are a type of city. These are potencies that were given to you because of what you have done in previous lives. So a city is something that has to be accumulated. Now, if you're talking about mystical cities are acquired through austerity or by sacrifice, yajna, by giving millions of cows to the Brahmins. You get mystical cities by cultivating them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
So but I still don't know if that answered your question.
So, Pro, if someone gets a siddhi and then he can do, devotion service, if he's doing bhakti, that's allowed?
Why not? I mean, if you can walk on water, why not walk on water? That's a city.
Yeah.
Jesus
Got it,
walked
got it.
on water. They say Jesus walked on water.
Yeah.
Prabhupada
Because
told a
after
story.
getting those siddhis, yeah. Please go ahead, yeah. So, Prabhu, after getting those siddhis, there's much easier way, right, to get into bhakti because you have those powers where you can control everything in your hand.
Well, it depends on what cities you're talking about. I mean, compared to a snail, walking on legs is a city. So when you say cities, what do you mean? That you can levitate? That you can
Yeah,
swing
yeah.
through-
Can you be more specific, Mohit Prabhu? What city are you talking about? Lighter than the lightest, pulling objects from here and there from the ether. What
There's
city-
one in which you can control your mind, right?
Control your
Which-
mind. You're already doing that, no?
Chant
Yeah,
Hare
yeah.
Krishna.
Yeah, that we're doing.
You
it.
mean
There's one
controlling
city-
others' minds?
No, not others' mind. Our mind, and then we can go to some place, right? There's one siddhi where you can go any place. So
Oh, you
why
mean you
not go
can
to
tell-
Golok Dham, right? Watch there and come back.
No, you can't go to Goloka.
The mind, the
Cities,
mind controls
You
the
can-
body.
You can float over the ocean. You can fly like an airplane. You can go without eating for 1,000 years. That you can do if you have the
That's
right
the mind.
cities. But
Those are
going
the
to
mind.
Goloka, you cannot
Narayan,
go.
Narad Muni has that power, no? Has that siddhi, no? He can
But
go
he's a
anywhere.
pure
No.
devotee.
Narada Muni is a
Muni-
pure devotee. Yes, he has all the siddhis, so he can do whatever he likes.
Yeah, he can fly through outer space,
Yeah.
playing on his vina.
He can go to the spiritual
But-
world. Yes.
But a human, if he has that siddhi, he can't go anywhere because I've read it somewhere that this specific Hindi siddhi, I don't know the specific term, that he can go anywhere and
Anywhere in the material world. Anywhere in the material
okay.
world.
Who is he? Who is he?
Whoa, this must be some mystic. Now, to get cities, you have to practice austere yogas. So
Yeah.
when you start to cultivate a city, you generally have a reason for wanting. I would like,
Do you have any examples, Prabhu, of various
Sure.
people who have
In the
siddhis and
Shastras.
those who have done devotee,
There was
those
this
who
guy
have
that
done
did
bhakti?
there was a fellow that did mystical, prayed to Lord Shiva for mystical power. And
Okay.
Shiva is easily angered and very easily pleased. Are you there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally,
Okay.
totally agree. Yeah.
You may know the
Yes.
story. So he practiced all this yoga, and Lord Shiva said, what is it that you want as a result of all this austerity that you're doing? He said, it's very
Mhm.
simple. I would like the city or the power that if I go up to someone, whoever it is, I touch them on the head and their head will explode. They'll die.
Okay.
And Lord Shiva said, okay, you've done your job, I'll do mine. And he gives him that power. The minute that the person has the power, he runs after Lord Shiva to touch.
Yeah,
Lord
I've heard
Shiva.
this.
Do you know the story?
Yeah. Now I can remember. Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah. And Lord Shiva is running. He said, what have I done? I've screwed myself over, haven't I? I've given away a city that will blow up my head.
To
And
a
then
fool,
Lord Shiva
I've given a
occurred to Lord Shiva.
siddhi to a fool.
He
Yeah.
said, you know something? You think I didn't see through your whole tricks? You think I gave you a city, if you touch my head, it'll explode, right? Oh, yeah. Well, what if I didn't? Try touching your own head. You'll see it won't explode. So he touched his own head and it did explode.
Okay.
So that's, cities are material and many great saints can have
Okay,
cities, but we don't need them. All you need to do is chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Mahamantra.
Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Yeah.
Bol.
And you don't need a
Haribol.
guru to chant Hare Krishna. Or put it this way, you don't need a guru more than Srila Prabhupada. because
Yeah,
Srila Prabhupada manifests being your guru by writing books that you can read.
So we can't go to Vaikunt Dham also, Haribol? If we have the
You-
siddhi? No, not at all
Well,
possible.
you can go to Vaikuntha, but why? We're being offered going to Krishna Loka.
Yeah. Okay.
Why would we want to go there? You know, in Vaikuntha Loka, there's 4 types of Vishnus, meaning their arms and ornaments and weapons are in different configurations. And they're worshipped with awe and reverence.
Okay.
So people want to say, glory to God in the highest, to God in the highest, glory. If people want to worship God like that, they can go to Vaikuntha.
So Prabhupada was from Vaikuntha
But-
only, no, bro?
But if you want to play with Krishna in the fields of Vrindavan with cowherd boys, then go there.
Prabhupada was from Vaikuntha Dham only, no? He's gone to Vaikuntha only, no? Or he's going to
Who?
Golok Dham. Prabhupada.
No,
Where has
Who said?
Prabhupada gone, bro?
Prabhupada is still here.
Yeah. That's a Sukshma Roop, right?
If you
What
go
do
to
you
Vrindavan,
say?
you were in Vrindavan, right?
Yeah.
You went to Vrindavan.
I
Did you go to
go
see
twice. Twice
Did you
every
go
month,
to the samadhis of the great acharyas?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you offer your obeisances to those samadhis?
Yes.
Why?
Because they are there. They're there.
Yes,
Right.
they're still there.
They're still there. Yeah.
Yeah, but remember, these Uttama Adhikaris are capable of being in more than one place at once.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah. So, Prabhu, what according to you think when Prabhupada went to Vaikunt Dham or
He's in
Golok?
his samadhi.
No, except Samadhi, he can be at various places, no?
He would not go to Vaikuntha because he has no relationship with anyone in Vaikuntha.
Okay. Got it.
His relationship is with Krishna. So he would go to where Krishna is. In fact,
Oh,
if you get down to the basic facts, he never left where Krishna is. That's the difference between Prabhupada being Acharya and some foolish person initiating claim to be an Acharya.
okay.
The people in ISKCON cannot be Acharyas because they didn't descend from Krishna Loka. Besides which, we don't need another Acharya because all of is needed now is to chant Hare Krishna. That's it. Only chant Hare Krishna. Let's remember that Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna combined, correct? In the mood of Radharani, right? That's why he's golden colored. Golden age of Kali means Radharani's age of Kali. Do you understand that?
Bro, yeah, I got your point. But Prabhu, for example, Prabhupada also had his guru, no? Bhakti Vedant, right?
Bhakti Saranta Saraswati.
Bhakti Thakur.
Yeah,
So
so
he
why
had a
don't?
guru, right? So why do you think, Prabhu, don't you think, Prabhu, that we need a physical guru, right?
Well, where will he come from?
Prabhu, he should be a pure devotee, right? Prabhupada has given us the
He
various.
must be a pure devotee.
He must be a
Now,
pure devotee following various
There's one
things,
thing
right?
I'd like to point out, and I'm working on that paper. I misplaced it, so I have to rewrite the whole thing. But where in the golden age of Kali, you know that Lord Chaitanya is the Yuga avatar.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So he is Krishna himself, right?
Of course,
He's Krishna on
not
the
just Krishna, Radha and Krishna himself.
Radha Krishna. Sorry, bro. Yeah.
So what does Yuga avatar mean?
So Yugs, all master of the Yug. He's the guru of all the
Kali
Yugs,
Yuga,
right?
golden age of Kali. He's the avatar. Okay. If God, there's so many religions in India, everywhere, America, there's thousands of religions. Some of them are prominent, some of them are less. Like Jains are not as prominent as Muslims, were not as prominent as Hindus and stuff like that. Okay? But the actual fact is, with all of these religions, Christianity, Judaism, if the Yuga avatar shows up, is he not the person that all of those religions wish to reach by practicing their religion?
True, first of all, this religion word is only wrong. This we have made, we humans have made this religion word, or maybe Britishers have made it. We shouldn't have made the word religion, right? So it's
Well, that's
Sanatan
true.
Dharma, right?
Sanatan Dharma, exactly. Right on the
Yeah.
point. It was the
Yeah.
Muslims that created the word Hindu,
Yeah.
meaning Sindhu, because Muslims can't pronounce S. So they said Hindu instead of Sindhu. So it's really a low-class thing to have done to Sanatan Dharma. And can you imagine that all these people are marching in Bangladesh for equal rights? They're asking the government to save them, not
Yeah.
Krishna, not Durga, but the government to save them.
Yeah.
They're asking essentially for the Muslims to save them and give them equal rights. If they're devotees of Krishna, they don't have to ask anyone for equal rights.
Yeah, exactly.
And why would they have to ask equal rights if they're worshippers of Durga?
And seriously, bro, I'm also frustrated by seeing various temples saying Hindus, right? Please save Hindus. I mean, that's a very bizarre thing to say, right? We are not
would say
Hindus.
so.
Sanatan Dharmas, all ESKCONs are saying this, save Hindus. Everyone
Exactly.
is saying Hindus. Are there, I mean, I don't want to have offenses, bro. I'm very
No,
sorry.
no, there's no offense. Because the Hindus, before Alexander the Great showed up, there was 5,000 years
50.
till now in the Golden Age, in Kali Yuga, it's past 5,000 years. About less than 3,000 years, India became, that means after 2,000 years of maintaining the Dharma,
Yeah.
Krishna conscious Dharma in India with all those kings, then people came from over the hill.
Yeah.
Darius the Great, Cyrus the Great from Persia, Alexander the Great from Macedonia, and then Mughals came. They all came, but mostly they just attacked the northern parts of India.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then after some time, the Mughals took over all of India and Muslims became a third of the population. Just because the saintly kings could not fight them off.
Yeah.
So then the Mughals, conquering 2/3 of the population and turning them into vassals. You see, the trick is, I don't want to get too complicated on this, but the trick is that if you can defeat one king and he becomes your agent. So he conquer one Hindu king, then you and he go and conquer another Hindu king. I mean, Sanatan Dharma king.
Divide
You
and
go
rule, right?
Conquer them all. Yes, that's the British though. Yes, with all that conquering, you end up creating a power base by which the king, who is worshiping Krishna, takes a second place to the Muslim. Because the Muslim conquered him, but said, you can remain king as long as you work for me.
Yeah.
That's the way it was. That's the way it's done. It's the way it's been done all over the world. England, Europe.
Ramachandra Prabhu, you had something for the day. Sorry to interrupt you guys. Ramachandra Prabhu,
Yes, this document that we wanted to share on the screen
please go
here.
ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah,
Please
sure.
go ahead.
Let's try to get into some of it.
Okay, so
We can go a little bit over possibly if we can, maybe 10 minutes more or 15 minutes more.
So what I did was I read the document up to, let's see, it's 9 pages. I read 5 pages, and some of these things need explanation. So we can, for example, we see A and then number 1. So this document that has been written, we need to state who this document is for. Right, Narayan Prabhu? Yeah. We
So
are,
a document is for everyone in the golden age of Kali.
no, this document, no, when you're talking about direction of management,
Oh,
who
yeah.
are you specifically?
This document is directed to anyone who says that the GBC can avoid being elected. I don't know if Mohit, if you know it, but Prabhupada wrote a document called the Direction of Management, by which this is just one document out of quite a few that haven't yet been completed. That he said that the GBC, meaning the governing body commission, is to be the temple presidents elect temple presidents to be 12 temple presidents out of a bunch of maybe 30, 40 temples. They elect the governing body commission for 3 years. Then at the end of 3 years, they can be reelected or they can go back to their temple. But the purpose is to do functions. What I'm doing with this paper, which may be incomprehensible, I hope not, is to establish that Prabhupada had the authority to establish the governing body commission, and as he wrote it in a document called the Direction of Management. This will all appear on the webpage, but this is just a start. Just wanted to get the feeling of what you think of it, and mainly Mohit and Bob. So go ahead.
So my question to you is that this document is for anyone who is interested in trying to understand what Prabhupada wanted and how his society should be managed, right?
Correct.
So someone who's not so much interested in understanding, they like chanting Hare Krishna, they like Prabhupada's books, and that's all they like. This is not for them. Or is it for them?
It's for them, because by the time we're finished, we're going to have a whole website that explains everything from start to finish. So that if a neophyte person comes and goes to our website and he goes to the ISKCON temple, they'll say, I've seen incontrovertible proof that this is, you have unelected GBCs that appoint gurus. How can you do that? That's not what the pure devotee of the Lord wanted. How can you go against the pure devotee of the Lord?
Okay.
So I can see there's a problem, isn't there? Well, let's read a few lines and see how it turns out.
Yes. So the first is A. Is the direction of management a legitimate direct order by Srila Prabhupada, and as such not subjected to any type of disobedience by his initiated disciples? So 1, yes, all direct orders by Srila Prabhupada actually descend from Krishna Loka. There is no question of mistake or human error. The direct written order of the bona fide spiritual master who is in his eternal rasa with Krishna must be considered to be as infallible as Lord Krishna himself. And okay.
Keep going.
2, no initiated disciple of the Uttamadhikari spiritual master can be considered to be infallible. Even residents of Krishna Loka who came to earth to participate as disciples of Lord Chaitanya did not represent themselves as infallible, in spite of the fact they unquestionably were. Number 3, each and every initiated disciple must remain 100% obedient to the direct order of the bona fide spiritual master. Whether such order is written or spoken by the descendant spiritual master. 4, the absolute relationship of a disciple to his Uttam Adhikari spiritual master is accept everything that has been spoken, written by the spiritual master, and do not reject anything that has been spoken, written by the bona fide spiritual master. 5, the Uttam Adhikari spiritual master is factually not different than Krishna. Okay, I've read the first part of it. Mohit Prabhu, do you want to make a point, question, or anything like that?
Or do you want to hear another couple of
No,
lines?
Prabhu.
Couple of
Prabhu.
lines, okay.
I guess it's exactly point blank on target, which I think of. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you,
B.
Mohit, do you feel it's point blank on target?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the beginning. It's like a sword fight, with French dueling, with rapier.
Yeah.
You start the battle sort of like almost like you bow to your enemy, and your banner bows to you, and you snap your blade, and you walk back and forth. But this is the beginning of the waltz, which is going to prove that there's something really rotten in the GBC's system right now. Go ahead.
Jai, okay. We're at B. Who is the author of the direction of management? 1. Lord Krishna, by the agency of his pure devotee, is the author of the direction of management. 2. As such, the direction of manager, DOM, must be considered to be of equal authority as Krishna in his original transcendental form, as well as his form as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Yuga avatar of the present golden age of Kali. Okay, now we're going to the second page. C. What is the authority of the spiritual master who is recognized Uttam Adhikari as well as a bona fide Sampradaya Acharya? What is the authority of the spiritual master who is recognized as recognized Uttam Adhikari as well as a bona fide Sampradaya Acharya? Number 1. In all respects, the transcendental authority of such spiritual master is none different than the authority of Lord Krishna. There is no scope of doubting the authority of the Uttam Adhikari spiritual master. Such spiritual master is very rare and manifests only on the direct order of Lord Krishna. 3. We must recognize the relationship between the disciple, the spiritual master, and Krishna without the interference of the gross and subtle material body. 4. Even the Kanishta Adhikari disciple must be able to at least conceptually see beyond the blind wall of material perception that separates him from being able to understand the actual relationship between the disciple, spiritual master, and Lord Krishna. Number 5. Discipleship begins when the Kanishta Adhikari disciple can understand these three platforms as absolute and transparently clear. So some things might need explanation, Narayan Prabhu. I'll send you the email later about these things. And we're going on to D now. In terms of spiritual authority, is the Uttam Adhikari spiritual master different or non-different in quality and intent than Krishna? Okay, let me go down a little bit. The purpose of such spiritual master as Narada Muni, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Srila Prabhupada must be understood to be non-different than that of Lord Krishna. 2. Lord Krishna is inhabited by innumerable eternally liberated infinitesimal jivas who are participating in the eternal rasas with Lord Krishna, who is infinite, and hence they are equal in quality but not equal in quantity to Krishna, who is worshipped by pure Uttam Adhikari devotees of Lord Krishna on innumerable material planets as well as in the spiritual sky. 3. There is a quantitative difference, but not a qualitative difference between the Uttam Adhikari devotee and Lord Krishna. Okay, we're on page 3. 3. Those who descend to participate in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya were all Uttam Adhikaris, and many were intimate participants in Lord Krishna's Krishna Loka pastimes. 4. The Sampradaya Acharyas of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya are all Uttamadhikaris and often manifestations of high-ranking gopis and other residents of Krishna Loka. For that reason alone, they are not different than Krishna in terms of spiritual quality. E. When taking Diksha from the Uttamadhikari pure devotee spiritual master, does the disciple retain his free will in terms of viewpoint of opinion separate from that of the spiritual master? 1. The entire purpose of a willing disciple taking Diksha from the Uttamadhikari spiritual master is to receive transcendental realization and guidance that such worthy disciple can obtain from no other source. 2. Each and every jiva after taking Diksha from the Uttamadhikari spiritual master always retains the same free will, which is the symptom of his eternal existence, which as a liberated soul or as a conditioned soul, whether as a liberated soul or a conditioned soul. 3. The clear and absolute distinction between the bona fide spiritual master and the disciple is that the initiated disciple can never misuse his own eternal free will by going against the clearly manifested direct signed order of the pure devotee spiritual master. 4. The exact distinction of the disciple in relationship to the bona fide spiritual master is that the disciple voluntarily relinquishes his own authority and, even in mundane military terms, accepts the order of the spiritual master as his life and soul. 5. The initiated disciple then uses his free will. 5. The initiated disciple then uses his free simply to fulfill and never oppose.
I think it's supposed to be free will.
Okay. The initiated disciple uses his free will simply to fulfill and never oppose the clearly expressed instructions of the Uttamadhikari spiritual master. 6. In terms of authority, the direction of management is none different than Srila Prabhupada himself. Okay. We're at page 4 now. At what point can the disciple disagree with the order or instruction of the bona fide spiritual master? This is a good title. At what point can the disciple disagree with the order or instruction of the bona fide spiritual master? 1. Disciple means discipline. There can be no question of disagreement or disobedience. 2. Even in mundane military, disobedience is often punishable by death. 3. Disobedience to the order of the spiritual master is exactly equal to personally disobeying Lord Krishna. 4. The order of the Uttamadhikari spiritual master are designed to deliver the fallen conditioned souls from repeated birth and death and to be restored to their original residency in Krishna Loka. 5. Unless a so-called disciple is actually motivated by his personal illicit desire for money and power, he will have no motive whatsoever to not obeying the merciful orders of his bona fide spiritual master. 6. The order of the Uttamadhikari spiritual master is none different than if that same order were given directly to the initiated disciple by Lord Krishna in person. 7. Without an illicit material desire for money and power and other motive could possibly derail the initiated disciple of a pure devotee from eagerly and willingly obeying the DOM, direction of management, thereby delivering countless millions of fallen conditioned souls. The disciple can never disagree with an instruction given to him by the Uttamadhikari spiritual master, who is a direct representative of Lord Krishna. Okay, we're at page 4 now. If a person who is initiated by the bona fide spiritual master openly disobeys or otherwise disagrees with his bona fide spiritual master, does he retain his status as a disciple? Number one, the nectar of devotion discusses this exact issue regarding the initiated disciple being deluded by para attachment. 2. Residing in the transcendental glow of his Uttam Adhikari spiritual master, he begins to think that his apparently transcendental glow is actually being generated by his own amazing spiritual advancement. 3. Whether this foolish, deluded neophyte does not tend to realize what this foolish, deluded neophyte does not tend to realize is that he is simply reflecting the glow of the Uttam Adhikari pure devotee, and he can even entertain his Maha Aparad that he has become equal to or even superior to his bona fide spiritual master. 4. The notion of kill Guru, become Guru may even enter his mind. Interesting.
Direct quote.
Yeah, that's Prabhupada's quote. 5. There is no scope, nor has there ever been, for a disciple to disobey the direct written order of the Uttam Adhikari spiritual master. Okay. H. What is the simplest description of the relationship between the Uttam Adhikari spiritual master and his genuine initiated disciple? A genuine disciple of a bona fide spiritual master considers every nuance of instruction of his Uttam Adhikari spiritual master to be his life and soul. 2. The bona fide disciple neither adds nor subtracts from the order of his Uttam Adhikari spiritual master. 3. He knows full well from whence the order of his bona fide spiritual master flows. Okay, we're at page 6. Is a written contractual agreement created between the spiritual master and one or more of his disciples an absolute agreement, and that cannot under any circumstances be abrogated. What does abrogated mean? It means not followed?
Yeah,
Okay.
broken, really.
Okay, broken, okay. Number 1, it is not only an absolute agreement between the disciple and the Uttam Adhikari spiritual master, but it is, by that token, an agreement between the initiated disciple and Lord Krishna himself. 2. Such written agreement, direction of management, presently exists between Lord Krishna and Srila Prabhupada as the Uttam Adhikari spiritual master and certain select disciples. 3. It is not only binding between all signatories whose names appear on the document, but it is binding between each of the signatories and Lord Krishna personally as well. Number 4, no disciple has the option to change his mind regarding his signature on such a document once it has been signed and witnessed. 5. The only way to have reversed the authority of the direction of management would have been for Srila Prabhupada to have created a new document with all of the original participants in full signature agreement. 6. No alternative document was ever generated by Srila Prabhupada to replace or amend the direction of management. 7. As written, the direction of management will remain bona fide and enforceable until the end of the 10,000 years of the golden age of Kali. 8. No one has the authority to modify or nullify the direction of management, as Lord Krishna himself is the actual author, acting through his pure devotee Srila Prabhupada. Okay, we're on page 7 now. What is the penalty for gross disobedience of the written order or instruction of the bona fide Uttam Adhikari spiritual master? Number 1, the penalty for disobedience to the Uttam Adhikari spiritual master cannot be calculated by the brains of mortal man. The punishment will certainly correspond to the material and spiritual development of the offender in this and future lives. It is a great offense to disobey the direction of management, which was the essential primal order of the spiritual master. 3. It is obvious that millions of more humans and other jivas would have been able to take shelter of many thousands or more ISKCON temples. Millions of human beings' lives were lost as a result of wars unnecessarily, but due to a world climate of spiritual ignorance over the last 40 plus years. 5. The blood of those millions who might have been redeemed by worldwide DOM enhanced ISKCON temples will rest squarely on the shoulders of those who signed the direction of management and then openly and willfully refused to ever obey it. 6. Srila Prabhupada knew exactly what to do, and blinded by their lust for power and money, these rascal GBC initiates did not. 7. The blood of millions of human beings is on their hands. K. What is the path of redemption for a disciple who has dared to disobey the verbal or written order of his spiritual master? Note, the example below will shed some light on the eventual punishment and subsequent redemption. Just as Krishna is always kind, the Uttamadakari spiritual master is also always kind. 2. Jad Bharat is an example of a saintly holy devotee who fell from a cliff during a harsh rainstorm and accidentally took his birth as a deer. As a series of basically strange births, Jad Bharat was fully redeemed. 3. One thing is certain, whoever commits even the greatest offense against the pure devotee of the Lord will ultimately earn back his path of redemption. 4. Lord Chaitanya banned his disciple Murari Gupta from having his association for 10,000 years. This was a crushing blow to Murari Gupta. Sometime later, Lord Chaitanya asked his personal servant, "What is Murari Gupta doing?" The servant looked and reported back that Murari Gupta was dancing in extreme ecstasy and crying out, "In only 10,000 mortal years, I will be once again admitted to the association of Lord Chaitanya." Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya forgave his offense and admitted him back to his association immediately. Nonetheless, the fact that one is not intermediately dragged in the court of Manu or Yamaraj is not an indication that severe punishment that need for rectification can be avoided after the disobedient GBC usurper has left
Usurper
his
means
body.
somebody that unfairly takes over.
Oh, yes. Usurper, yes. We must understand that the punishment of Guru Aparad, such as holding GBC meetings without informing Srila Prabhupada, electing a new GBC member against Srila Prabhupada's desire, actually overturning Srila Prabhupada's direction of management and replacing it with their own non-elected corporate organization, clearly based on their refusal to disobey the direction of management, is a very great offense to the lotus feet of Krishna's pure devotee on earth indeed. 7. That such aparad was based on the individual members of the newly created GBC basing their godless plan making or their indistinguished lust for power and money guarantees their misfortune that their future lives will bring. Guarantee their misfortune that their future lives will bring. L. Can the disciple legitimately question or refuse to obey the order of the spiritual master if he holds the opinion that the spiritual master's order is somehow mistaken or somehow wrong? Okay, we're page 9 now. One may reject a rascal bogus guru whose trickery schemes are based on money and power. Such person's plan is name, fame, and cheating his disciples out of their money. 2. Many such rascals exit, and they must be rejected immediately.
Exist.
Oh, many such rascals exist, and they must be rejected immediately. Therefore, one must surrender to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and the last Sampradaya Acharya, whose only motive is to deliver the fallen conditioned souls in behalf of Sri Radha and Krishna in the form of the Yuga Avatar, Lord Chaitanya. The last Sampradaya Acharya Srila Prabhupada is to be immediately accepted as one's bona fide spiritual master, and his every word and instruction must be followed to the ultimate degree. 5. Such disciples are to be understood to be on the Kanishta Adhikari platform, and since Kanishta is a gradual development process, minor personal defects and gradual spiritual development are to be expected. 6. Such overlooked flaws do not apply to signing the direction of management, as personal behavior can sometimes be overlooked by the Acharya, but deliberate rejection of essential principles of organizational structure as established by Lord Krishna via his infallible representative, the Uttam Adhikari Acharya, cannot. Okay, so this is the last paragraph. The above are the basic considerations to determine if a spiritual crime has been committed by those GBC members who refused to fully obey the direct and absolute order of their bona fide spiritual master, to whom they at Diksha pledged without exception to surrender their life and soul. All right, so I've just read this document, the whole 9 pages. So if anyone on Facebook and YouTube would like a copy of it, please just message me in the WhatsApp group. The link is posted in the description, and this document is posted in the group. So we're at 10 minutes past 8. Prabhus?
Does Mohit have anything to say?
Nothing else, Haribol. It's point blank on target, and I think you've done a great job, bro. So, yeah.
I couldn't understand.
He said it's point blank on the document, and you have done good service of writing it. So that's he said.
So you think it would hold up in the Supreme Court?
He can fight against any Supreme Court.
And how about in the Supreme Court of Yamaraj?
Great. It would be a great fight.
And even going beyond that, perhaps the court of Manu.
Yeah.
So do you think that's okay?
Yeah, bro. I think it's superb. Yeah.
This is a process after 40 years or so of a process of condemnation of a path that was taken, and I'm squarely placing that the deaths of millions occurred because Krishna consciousness stopped being the Hare Krishna explosion that I agree with described it as being, and became sort of a Krishna conscious implosion where the whole effort was to maintain the existing temples, never mind expanding and then having difficulty in controlling them. With the direction of management, the individual temples are supposed to control themselves, not be controlled by a Vatican-type totalitarian group that keeps a stranglehold on their throats. Okay?
Yeah. Ramachandra, should we close on this?
Yeah, we're just about. So thank you to all the devotees for joining. If they have any questions, comments,
I have a real quick question. Did you get any things online?
Oh, let me check that real fast. Hold on 1 second. We did get some stuff. Let's see.
We should, if possible, just even answer small way, or say that we will then bring it up on Wednesday and expand into a big way.
Yeah, so there was some comments here.
Can you
Put
read
the-
it?
Yeah,
Remember, we need to, we must, our life and soul, our life's blood is honoring those who make comments.
okay. So one devotee
Whoever
said,
makes comments is our guru.
okay, so one devotee is asking, put the document on Google Drive and post the link in your description, Prabhu, Haribol. And Arishta Prabhu asked the question, what is the need? What is needed for the 10,000 years? So that was
These were in response to the reading.
yes. What is needed for the oh he's asking what is needed for the 10,000, and capital is needed to move forward. So
Yeah.
yeah, so he's saying, to make this progress, what do you need?
Well,
Money.
it seems as though that they're nibbling at the bait.
What do you mean?
Well, they're accepting that this is worth doing.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Arishta Prabhu said capital is needed to move forward. To make this a reality, to inform people of this, certainly capital is needed. You have to have programs, meetings, discussions, question and answers to educate people. Yes, certainly capital is needed.
Somebody said that?
No, I'm saying that.
You're saying that. Okay, great. And were there any comments or questions from before we read that document?
Let's see. Yeah, there were some comments. LOL, smashed it, Prabhu. You are not the mind. In different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, both forms of material nature, namely gross earth, etc., and subtle mind, etc. These are inferior energies. Eating, so people are commenting, eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, LOL. He asked the symptoms of the soul, LOL. If you are on top of the tower waiting to jump, what is telling the person to jump or to contemplate on jumping? Your mind is telling you to jump, and the intelligence within the heart, the super soul, tells you not to. There is divine intelligence.
That's very nice.
Haribol.
Are there any others?
It says that's in Prabhupada's books, Easy Journey to Other Planets. Arishto says, Hare Krishna. Krishna says, explain the document. And it was explained when I asked you that question, what is this document for? Okay, so thank you to all the devotees for watching online. Huh?
If that's everything, that's fine. But we want to be sure that nobody asked a question or made a comment that we don't respond to, even very brief, just with a word or two.
Then Arishta Prabhu says, so I must help as possible a war chest and guidance from Krishna. Arishta Prabhu says, thank you. So Arishta Prabhu, thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, comments, feel free to send me a message. I'm putting my email address here, and you can contact me and I can give you Narayan Prabhu's number or join the WhatsApp group. The link is in the description. So
all of these statements are very constructive towards the future of ISKCON for the next 10,000 years. I don't care what happened in the last 50 years, because, training wheels. You can make mistakes. When a child has a bicycle with training wheels, he can make so many mistakes.
Sure.
And he won't get very much hurt, usually.
Right.
But now what we have here is we're getting off the training wheels into competitive road racing wheels so that the world will be able to understand everything. So does, Mohit, did you like that? Is it okay?
Yeah, Prabhu, of course. Yeah.
So shall we continue? There's like half a dozen more papers that are going to join it. And they'll all be linked together, so it makes sense.
Okay.
Sure. The next class, right? Next Istagosthi. Sure.
Yes, the next meeting. Yes. So we'll discuss.
Overall,
Yes, so we'll discuss all these, and we also like to hear from the devotees online their personal realizations, personal opinions, how the document was clear, not clear, it can be made better. Please contact us. You can also participate.
Excellent, excellent. That's good.
It's a two-way communication stream here, not
So
just.
we're not trying to just put ideas out. We're trying to start thinking process, global thinking process,
Yeah.
guided by Paramatma through the jiva in Istagosthi.
Hmm.
Istagosthi means the jiva is speaking, not the body. Your body can speak when you want to eat a gulab, but in this place, the jiva speaks according to spiritual intelligence. So that's what we want. And we want a celebration on the global level to bring this all together, because whatever is said to us on this site and contributed to comments such as you've been reading, whoever does that is advancing the cause of Krishna consciousness for the next 10,000 years.
Jai. Okay. So we'll end it at that note. Thank you very much. Our next meeting would be on Wednesday and then Saturday and Sunday again. So we'll see everyone in this coming up week.
Indian time around 8:30, guys. 8:30
Jai.
a.m. Yeah.
And California time about 8 p.m. Pacific time. All right, Prabhus. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
And without Rupa Manjari, we can go over by a few minutes.
Right. Hare Paul. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
She's the boss lady. She's